In a tense afternoon in restaurant Yukihira, Souma Yukihira challenges his father, Joichiro Yukihira, to a cooking duel with Mayumi Kurase as the judge. Inevitably, Souma loses again for the 489th time. As Mayumi offers consolation towards Souma, Souma forcibly feeds her his grilled squid tentacles dressed in peanut butter, one of his failed dishes he invented earlier in the morning in an attempt to cheer himself up. As Mayumi suffers from the dreadful taste, Souma ignores everyone and mutters to himself as he vows to travel to the endless wilderness of cooking. Just then, an urban life planner, Yeko Minigasaki, walks in restaurant Yukihira with her assistants and threatens to close down the restaurant for the development in the city. Yeko further threatens Souma by stating that failure to cook a dish in her satisfaction will result in her closing down the shop. Souma agrees to the challenge as Yeko leaves. The next day, as Souma returns from middle school to restaurant Yukihira, he notices the kitchen supplies in his restaurant have been sabotaged, presumably by Yeko and her assistants. Just then, Yeko pops by again, telling and threatening Souma to cook her a meat dish, in which Souma accepts despite having no meat resources. A few moments later, to everyone's surprise, Souma cooks up his dish, roast pork, just kidding, a relatively meaty dish out of nowhere. As Yeko's assistants question Souma's methods, Souma replies that he used thick bacon slices and potatoes he bought for the following day's breakfast. However, Yeko, unimpressed, adamantly decides to vacate the restaurant. Souma then tells her to try the dish first before judging the restaurant's worth, in which she does. Just as Yeko takes a bite, she falls for the dish's aroma and taste. Souma then explains that he learned this dish from a failure in the past. However, Yeko still refused to qualify the dish as a meat dish. Souma then takes the dish away from her, telling her that he'll dispose of it, in which Yeko stops him from doing so. Souma, knowing that she had already fallen for the dish, tells her to never come back again in order for her to continue eating the dish. Yeko then accepts his request as she finishes her dish along with her assistants. As the latter finish the dish, they comically collapse on the floor in defeat as Souma walks away victoriously. Later that day, Joichiro returns to the shop, telling Souma that he will have to close the shop temporarily for a few years due to a friend's offer to work in New York. Souma, shocked, attempts to stop his father. However, Joichiro tells Souma to enroll in Tatsuki Culinary Academy, a superior elite school where only less than 10% of the students graduate. Meanwhile, inside Tatsuki Academy, Arina Nakiri appears and belittles a student's dish, claiming that it was terrible. Arina Nakiri tastes the last dishes prepared by the students in class at Tatsuki Culinary Academy, only to be fumed with disappointment, claiming the taste is like bathing with a lowland western gorilla. Arina states to the cook he can't serve food that's mediocre, causing all the chefs to beg for forgiveness. Meanwhile, when Souma Yukihira reaches the school entrance, Joichiro Yukihira tells Souma that he is now cooking in Manhattan Royal Hotel. Joichiro then tells Souma that he will never surpass him unless he manages to survive there until graduation, irritating Souma and thus ending the conversation moments later. As Souma enters Tatsuki grounds, he encounters a group of rich students preparing to take the entrance exams with him. He then meets Yoshiaki Nakaido, one of the rich students. After Souma reveals his humble background, Yoshiaki kicks Souma off the bench. Halfway, as he states Tatsuki will only accept someone with high standards, he gets attacked by Souma. Yoshiaki's bodyguards then attempt to stop the situation at hand. Later, the students gather in a kitchen to undergo the entrance exam. It is revealed that Arina will be the examiner of this exam. The students bemoan their luck as she is renowned for her strict passing mark and huge influence. As she explains her own rules for gaining admission, all the students except Souma flee as she finishes, fearing that their names will forever be stained by her words in the culinary industry. Souma grabs Yoshiaki and asks why everyone ran, so the latter says Arina has the god tongue, which gives her advanced taste since she criticized her mother's breast milk and has been tasting professional chefs' cooking since she was a girl, and one bad review from her spells the end of a cook's career. Then Yoshiaki runs off. Being the only student left, Souma asks on whether or not he could take the test, patting Arina on the shoulder. Hisako Arato, Arina's secretary, then shoves Souma as she explains Arina's regal status. Souma, unmoved, proceeds to cook his dish for Arina. Arina attempts to end the exam when she sees a plain bowl of scrambled eggs, stating that it was a waste of her time and could only approve of dishes concentrated on extravagance and innovation. Souma remains unmoved and stops her, claiming that his dish is far from finished. Arina then notices that there are jellied broth cubes hidden beneath the eggs. Souma then pours the contents of the bowl into a bowl of rice. The jellied broth then melts with the heat of the rice and the transforming furikake gohan is complete. Arina Arina orders Souma to serve the dish to her after being stunned by its fragrant aroma. She then takes a bite of the dish and attempts to take a second before being teased by Souma. Just as she takes a third bite, Arina enters into a state of ecstasy, with chubby angels that look like Souma harassing her. Souma asked her if his dish was delicious or disgusting, demanding that she admit it was good. Due to Souma's arrogance and her own pride, Arina responded with the latter, that his food was disgusting, causing Souma shock. Arina storms off filled with anger before hitting and hurting her hand against a wall and thinking of Souma with sadness and anger. Then contacts the authorities in Tatsuki, stating that no one passed her test, while Souma sits outside in dismay. Shortly after, Senzaemon Nakiri tastes the transforming Furikake Gohan, which causes him to strip the top portion of his robe. He then crushes Souma's failed report paper and registers him into Tatsuki Culinary Academy.
Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and press the bell so as not to miss new videos. Bye everyone.